Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Prime Business. I am Pius Kojobaka. And looking at our stories, tax consultant Francis Timoboy is urging government to maintain prudent fiscal discipline and block revenue leakages to mitigate the economic impact of the recent tax cuts. His advice comes at a time the IMF is warning that the recent tax cuts and abolition of some levies could hurt the economy in the short term, a development that will result in the country losing more than 6 billion cedis in a year. But Mr. Timoboy suggests that without strengthening revenue collection, the economy may face renewed pressures. He spoke to Joy Business.
Yes, I think one thing that we all expect is the continuous fiscal discipline. Government should not spend when the money is not there. We've seen this thing in the past where government does not have the money, but some way, somehow, pressure, they can't sustain the pressure, especially from labor and everywhere, pressure everywhere. So they end up borrowing and therefore creating serious deficit for the country. I believe that if they're able to sustain the discipline, expenditure controls, we've seen some audits of, payroll that is circulating around. If all of these things are through and they're able to sustain and, monitor the expenditure, I think is one way government can do. Again, we need to block the leakages. Sometimes it's not just the revenue mobilization, but how it is spent. So by blocking the leakages and also creating trust in the system, obviously voluntary compliance will increase. So whilst we are looking at how we can raise more revenue, which we encourage the GRA to continue with all the policies, enforcement, we just have to also look at the way the money is spent. And with these two measures coordinating very well, I believe that we will still be able to pursue our developmental goals whilst waiting for the future benefits of some of these reforms.
And to some other stories, the Securities and Exchange Commission says it is working closely with the Bank of Ghana to operationalize the open banking bill soon. The open banking model allows third-party service providers to access consumer data from traditional banking systems. Deputy Director General of SEC, Mr. Thompson, said that the collaboration is aimed at creating innovation.
For 1 year, over a year, we've been working very strongly to get this bill passed. And Honorable Abed, we've been on Parliament's neck. And I can tell you this is one of the bills that have seen a wide range of consultations. In fact, it's one of the most consultative bill ever passed by Parliament. It's one of the bills that we had to do a pre-laying engagement with Parliament even before the bill went to the House. And then before we had to go and face the Finance Committee. And even though it was a Finance Committee, that's where we brought communications in. We had to bring the Communications Subcommittee to also join the Finance Committee, to scrutinize the bill so that we're able to capture both the financing and also the technology aspect of it. And so everything is properly covered. What is left with now is operationalization of the bill. And the Central Bank and the SEC, we are working very strongly to operationalize it. We are currently developing the rules, the guidelines, and the directives to operationalize it. And so we are going to keep the public in the know.
More within the financial space, the Bank of Ghana has re-emphasized its commitment to support the media in initiatives aimed at promoting credible reporting and well-sourced storytelling. Addressing members of the private newspapers and online publishers of Ghana, known as PRICPAG, a two-day workshop, advisor to the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Francis Kuma, pledged the bank's resolve to partner with the media in the economic reset of government. More in this report.
Job by the private newspapers and online publishers of Ghana, PRICPAG, with support from the Bank of Ghana, seeks to empower journalists with key insight on some economic policies of the government. Speaking on behalf of the governor, Dr. Francis Kuma said monetary and financial policies are often technical, hence the need for the media to break down issues for public understanding. He assured of operating an open door policy to promote information sharing between the media and the central bank.
Regarding timely clarifications, background briefings, and access to authoritative data and subject matter experts. Our shared aim is that every story about the Bank of Ghana is well sourced and confidently delivered. These initiatives, reflect a simple conviction. That's the conviction that when the media succeeds, the public understands. And when the public understands, the economy functions better.
Minister in charge of Government Communications, Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, used the occasion to urge participants to continue with innovative steps in getting the public informed at all times.
And doing your bit to sustain our democracy. You may not appreciate the contributions you've made to democracy and governance as a whole. Some of you are the ones who have broken some of the most controversial stories and shown the light on some of the things that have defined our democratic practice. And I urge you to continue to innovate. I urge you to continue to remain principled. I urge you to continue to partner government and other institutions of state to collectively fashion out the best approach to running our country and delivering the sort of development that our people require.
The workshop was themed Researching the Economy, the Role of Journalists, News Publishers and Media Owners.
Away from the financial sector, the Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Elizabeth Ofosu-Ejari, has reaffirmed government's commitment to supporting local cement and steel manufacturers to produce at competitive costs without compromising quality. The assurance was given during a working tour of cement factories and steel manufacturing plants, including CBI, CIMAF and Ryder Steel.
The factory tour to Continental Blue Investment Ghana Limited and CIMAF forms part of government's broader engagement with manufacturers following recent discussions on price stabilization in the steel and cement sectors. The Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Elizabeth Ofosu-Ejari, inspected production processes, assessed cost structures, and examined the use of locally sourced raw materials as part of Ghana's import substitution agenda.
It's obvious that CBI is into the business of research to make sure that the cost of production is minimal and again quality is assured. They are also conscious about the environment, which is very good in this climate change era. Any industry that is conscious of the environment must be commended. But I have told them, as Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, I want quality with good costs and all the good things that they are doing to make sure that we have quality, yet good costs is commendable. It will be recalled that lately I've been together with industry responsible for steel and cement in a price discussion. And so anything that they will do to ensure that they produce at a good cost, yet quality is high, is something that the ministry will support. And I think they are moving in that right direction.
The minister later visited Ryder Steel to assess production capacity and challenges affecting steel pricing. Discussions focused on raw material availability, government restrictions on metal exports, and measures to help manufacturers take advantage of the recent stability of the cedi.
It is time for Ghanaians and investors alike to take a benefit of the stable cedi. And so I think that they did well last week by assuring us that they were not going to increase the price. We yet agree with them that it's not only the exchange rates that affects their pricing. We are willing and ready as a government to help them produce at a good rate so that their prices will be good. So I'm happy that they are using both ferrous and non-ferrous metals. It will be recalled that this year, the government of Excellency John Dramani Mahama, in our bid to feed the industry with non-agro products, has banned the export of non-ferrous raw materials in addition to the ferrous raw materials that was banned previously to ensure that we can feed our industry with raw material.
The minister says engagements with manufacturers will continue to support jobs, boost local production, and support consumers.
We have more from the industry sector because the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry is appealing to government to integrate the One District, One Factory initiative into its 24-hour economy policy to boost private sector growth. According to the Chamber, by incorporating this initiative into the 24-hour economy, the government can leverage existing infrastructure and expertise to drive growth. Speaking to Joy Business President of the Chamber, Stefan Mason Abbas said that this move would enhance industrial development, create jobs, and stimulate economic growth.
These are Ghanaians who have established businesses. So if you don't like the policy, can we roll them on onto your new policy? Because the new government will come with another policy. Do you want us to leave them behind? You can't leave them behind. So you roll them onto the new policy and showing that, okay, you are under one industry, one factory. Now we want you to operate 24 hours. And when you operate 24 hours, you are going to get a benefit of, let's say, reduce tariffs on electricity over at night. I think that's one of the policies. So there are conditions in that policy. So if you are under one district, one factory, and you decide to come onto the 24-hour policy, the benefit of the 24-hour policy, you should get it. So you, the entrepreneur, you, the private sector business owner, should also decide that, yes, I want to come on that policy and get a benefit out of it. But you cannot say that I've cancelled out and therefore they don't get a benefit.
Asanko Gold Mines has raised alarm over the increasing use of cyanide by illegal miners within the Amansia district of the Ashanti region, describing the practice as a serious threat to its operations, public health and environment. The company says investigations have revealed that illegal miners operating in the Amansia enclaves are using cyanide to extract gold from ore, a method that poses severe risks to miners and residents in surrounding communities.
Speaking during a tour by the Parliament's Select Committee on Environmental Protection, the Managing Director of Asanko Gold Mines, Dr. Charles Amwa, said the uncontrolled use of cyanide is contaminating water bodies, including boreholes, and disrupting the company's mining activities. He further alleged that the cyanide is smuggled into the country from some West African states, calling for tighter border controls to curb the illegal importation of the chemical. Dr. Amwa explained that illegal miners dig ponds and use them as leaching vats to extract gold, a process he said poses a major environmental and health risk to nearby communities.
Our recent findings indicate the illegal mining people have resorted to the use of cyanide. Cyanide is dangerous if you don't handle it with all the controls that it deserves. Got the ability to pose as a danger to lives, and it affects lives through either the water or through the food that are cultivated around the area. We found out that the use of the cyanide is uncontrolled and is handled without any safety precaution, without any safety training. So we urge authorities to, as a matter of urgency, to take measures to clamp down on this usage of this cyanide in the mining areas. It's really affecting our operation in that where you plan to mine, you have the illegal miners going ahead of you to mine. And also, anytime you try to get them out, there's always a confrontation between the mining operations and then the illegal miners, and that at times stop the operation for some days and all affect the production level.
He added that the activities of illegal miners have led to frequent confrontations, noting that some of the company's concessions have been taken over, often resulting in clashes between Asanko workers and Galamsey operators. Vice Chairman of the committee and Member of Parliament for Swame, John Darkum, called for increased deployment of security personnel to tackle illegal mining, warning that the menace is destroying forests, water bodies and people's livelihoods.
When it comes to Asanko today, we picked up a lot of things, especially the effect of Galamsey on their operations. We've realized that Galamsey is affecting them badly, and so we will plead with government to come to the aid of the company. The company, I believe, is doing by paying taxes to the government, and so they need to be protected. But look, the people of Ghana need to know that we cannot extract the resources God has given to us the way the illegal miners are doing. In fact, when they engage in illegal mining, they destroy the natural resources. They are unable to get the maximum ore or the good from the ore that they take, and so it's affecting the country badly. And we plead with everybody to make sure that this fight is won. Otherwise, we risk destroying our industries and destroying our forests, and of course destroying the future of this country.
David Opoku's reports for JoyNews.
The Design and Technology Institute, known as DTI, has launched a new Alumni Ambassador initiative aimed at positioning skills training and craftsmanship at the center of Ghana's future workforce. Speaking at the DTI Alumni Ambassador Workshop here in Accra, leadership and influence expert Dr. Olu Ajayi challenged graduates to move beyond certificates and become active ambassadors for skills development, innovation, and national transformation.
At the DTI Alumni Ambassador Workshop and launch, participants were taken through a series of reflections and engagement focused on leadership, identity, and influence. Delivering the keynote and leading the plenary session, leadership facilitator Dr. Olu Ajayi urged alumni to see ambassadorship as a responsibility, not a title.
I believe that not everybody has to go through formal university education in order, to achieve their dreams and to be able to impact society. So there should be alternative paths, and TVET is an alternative path. And TVET is gaining more importance globally. So we do have a fantastic institution, DTI, here in Ghana with continental aspirations. And my passion is about helping to transform the mindset of the DTI alumni, to help them to see that this is not just about the technical skills they gain.
Alumni President Carl Edudankwa set the tone by placing DTI's mission with a broader global context. Speaking to Joy Business, he said a rising demand for technical and creative skills present a unique opportunity for Ghana.
Well, beyond this alumni engagements, we have a number of engagements in terms of bringing at the various region levels, program levels, and all those things. We have strategic programs in terms of program level, capacity building, leadership building. We also have various programs designed to sort of raise the next crop of alumni to be better than even we who are standing. And so you would see down the lane like alumni involved in policy dialogues.
The workshop ended with a call for alumni to serve as visible advocates for skills training, mentorship, and innovation as Ghana positions itself for a more skills-driven economy.
Thanks so much for being part of Prime Business. I am Pius Kojobaka. Razak Musbao is next with Prime Sports, but I leave you with Commodities Update.